Am I the asshole for telling my aunt and cousins exactly why I kenneled one of my dogs? Happy Thanksgiving to my fellow Americans. Happy Thursday to everyone else. Now on to the post. I, 26 female, am currently getting passive-aggressive remarks from my aunt, 48 female, and sad remarks from my two younger cousins, 12 female and 10 female, because I have my 1-year-old lab/Malinois mix kenneled out on the property instead of having him at the house. The kennel is a 10 by 20 femalette, indoor-outdoor hunting kennel that is temp-controlled and has camera inside for me to check on him. As is said above, he is a 1-year-old lab/Malinois mix who is currently entering his teenage phase. He isn't dangerous in an aggressive sense, but he does play way too rough for him to safely play with my cousins. They are the other reason why he is currently kenneled. My aunt never taught them proper manners around dogs. They think that they are entitled to pet, play with, etc. any dog they come across. It's even worse with family dogs. I've had to intervene so many times to keep them from getting bit. When they got here about 2 hours ago, the girls immediately headed for my service dog before I redirected him to his placemat, which I have finally gotten into their heads means to not touch him. Once that plan was thwarted, the girls started telling me to bring Octavian, lab/Malinois, out for them to play with. I told them that because I couldn't watch them play to make sure everyone was playing nicely/not being mean, I kenneled Octavian in his hunting kennel. My aunt sent the girls outside to play baseball and rounded on me asking exactly what I meant by watching them play, and if Octavian was dangerous now. So I told her exactly what I said above. Octavian is in his teenage phase and pushing boundaries when it comes to play. The girls don't know how to read dog body language and don't have good manners around dogs. I'm not having this Thanksgiving end in an ER visit and a sheriff report because something happened. My aunt didn't say anything directly to me after that, but ever since she has been making remarks to the girl like, genetically demonic, doesn't think y'all know how to play with dogs, so she's not letting y'all be around either dog. My mom says that I should have just said Octavian was being naughty and left it at that, but I don't think I said/did anything wrong. I have also explained to the girls what I meant in a nicer way, explaining to them that Octavian is extra wiggly lately and keeps testing the line, without blaming them because they are still young kids, but they keep trying to give me reasons why I should just let them for a minute. Am I the asshole? My puppy tax for both dogs, Levi and Octavian. She has been making remarks to the girl like, genetically demonic, doesn't think y'all know how to play with dogs, so she's not letting y'all be around either dog. That's pretty much the long and short of it, no. The aunt can take that knowledge and work productively to change her kid's behavior, or can stay in a twist about it. Either way sounds like you did what a responsible dog owner would do in a similar circumstance. Not the asshole. Your aunt needs to teach her kids not to harass other people's dogs, especially a high-drive breed mix, and you're protecting everyone, including your dog. Not the asshole. I'm sure if something did happen, all hell would break loose. You are being responsible as a dog owner. Also, if you don't give the actual reason, there is a 0 chance of anything changing. Screw keeping the peace for the sake of easiness. OMG, your aunt certainly is a piece of work, isn't she? Not the asshole. This is absolutely the right thing to do, and the right way to explain it. Your mother has probably tolerated your aunt's entitlement for many years, and simply doesn't see it anymore. Your mother's response isn't helpful. Not the asshole. I think you need to take Anne aside and tell her to knock off the passive-aggressive remarks or go home. She is a guest, and that means being respectful of the host's house rules. Am I the asshole for asking my friend to not bring her dogs to Friendsgiving? I'm 26 female if it matters. So my friends and I do a Friendsgiving every year. I hosted this year for the first time, and I planned everything from decorations to food, seating, etc. One of my friends, Kara, 24 female, has 2 dogs that she basically takes everywhere. They're not emotional support animals or anything. She just likes having them around. Normally I'm okay with her bringing them here for a visit or 2, but last year at our other friend's house, one of her dogs snatched the dressing off the table and gobbled all of it while everyone was watching the game in the living room. I didn't think this was very funny at the time and decided this year to make sure she can't bring her animals to my house. Yesterday in the group chat, I reminded everyone of the start time and I added, also just a heads up, no pets this time, please. I didn't single her out specifically. I just made it a general statement. Immediately, Kara messaged me and asked if that meant her dogs. I said yes, that I really preferred she not bring them because I don't want dog hair in the food, I don't want to be managing animals in addition to hosting, and I don't want a repeat of last year. There was also going to be several small kids attending, so I wanted to be extra careful. Well, she didn't like that and immediately got super snarky and upset. She mentioned she had no one to watch her dogs, and I said they should be fine at home by themselves for a few hours, yeah? She said no, because they had anxiety issues and need to be with her at all times. I said that's unfortunate, but I won't be changing the rule I set. She told me her dogs are her family, that they're better behaved than most adults and especially better behaved than kids, and that I was being controlling and purposely excluding her. She said that if her dogs aren't allowed, then she's not coming. I told her I'd be sad if she didn't come, but the rule stands because I'm hosting this year. She's bringing the cake and the potato salad, and I asked what her plans were for getting the food here. I even offered to pick it up. She then said she has zero intention of giving any food if her family isn't welcome. While frustrating, I just told her that's unfortunate and that I wish she'd just be a little more understanding, and then had to scramble to find dessert and potato salad at a grocery store halfway across town to fill in. Now, a different friend said I could have handled it more sensitively, and that maybe I should have just let her bring them because it's the holidays and it's not a big deal. But honestly, it feels like a big deal to me because it's my house and I'm the host. Edit. I think people are misunderstanding that I had zero idea that she brings her dogs everywhere and can't leave them at home before this happened. The few visits to my house were only for brief visits where she came with other friends. I only included that info at the top of the post because I know now, but at the time I did not. Most people I know are able to leave their pets at home and do not bring them places. So that was my initial assumption. I was shocked when she told me she brings them everywhere. About the emotional support animal bit, how do I know? Because another friend told me after this all went down, because I did initially feel bad and thought maybe she needed them around, but was informed that this wasn't the case and felt it was important info to add. I was on your side until you asked for her to drop off the food anyway. That is a firm you are the asshole move. You were good until you asked her to still provide food. It was fine to ask her not to bring the dogs. It was not fine to then basically demand she still provide you with food, that you just said she wasn't going to be there to eat. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. The fact you went into this with any expectation you would get that food is insane. I didn't single her out specifically. I just made it a general statement. That everyone understood was first and foremost about her dogs. She's bringing the cake and the potato salad, and I asked what her plans were for getting the food here. What? It's fine if you don't come, but please still make the food. NTA about dogs at your house. That is perfectly reasonable, but you are the asshole for springing it on her the night before, and also still expecting her to provide food. You should have spoken directly to her much earlier, as soon as you decided to host, and made it very clear, nothing vague. She could have either made arrangements for pet sitting, or made other plans for her Thanksgiving, or the group may have chosen a different host. Mostly not the asshole, but it's weird that you were still expecting her to provide dessert and a side to an event she was no longer attending. AITA for not helping my sister clean up after Thanksgiving. I woke up at 6:30 this morning, Thanksgiving, to start cooking for my extended family turkey, stuffing, gravy, sweet potato casserole, pecan pie and coconut pie, all from scratch with fresh ingredients, no shortcuts. My sister hosted, and she made the ham, green beans, collards, rolls, deviled eggs, and a pumpkin pie. I definitely did the heaviest lifting, but I had volunteered to do so, as I was originally going to host, but our dad was staying at my sister's place, and it was going to be easier to keep him there. When the meal was over this afternoon, my sister announced that the men did not need to help clean up, and the women would do it all. And when I say announced, I mean she made a big production of it. I was dumbfounded. In my household, when I cook, my husband cleans up, and vice versa. So I spoke up and said I spent 7 hours cooking today, and I would not be spending another 2 hours in the kitchen washing dishes, but my husband would be happy to do so. She refused his help and proceeded to clean up entirely by herself. Our other sister was there, but she disappeared at cleanup as she usually does, as was a niece who didn't cook anything, but has a newborn so didn't help clean up either. So my sister cleaned up and washed dishes entirely on her own, while the rest of us chatted and visited with each other. I feel guilty, but I am also disgusted by her display of internalized sexism, and her expectation that I'd be okay with that BS AITA for sticking to my principles and making my sister clean up by herself? Not the asshole. You didn't punish her, she punished herself by turning down willing help. Not the asshole. You did your part. Whether it's male or female, I don't care if you don't cook, you clean. Period. WTF? Who is she decide for all of the women? Those men better get their ass out of those chairs and get busy. Not the asshole. Sister refused help from Opie's husband, so she's going to be feeling very self-righteous and put upon. Maybe next year the deal should be made clear from the beginning. If the women cook, the men do the cleanup. Why didn't the men jump in and help? That's crazy. LOL, and what did the men contribute equal to cooking and cleaning a whole meal? Let me guess, absolutely nothing except picking their asses and watching sports, rolling on the floor laughing. Not the asshole, and you sister brought that work on herself. She needs to look in the mirror if she needs someone to blame. Am I the asshole? Yelled at wife for smell. I might be justified. My wife is lactose intolerant, and her farts smell absolutely awful and linger for hours. She doesn't eat lactose often, but when she does it is terrible. In general, I am okay with this, as I would rather she can enjoy food if she wants to. I love her, and I can put up with them with some complaining, as they are absolutely dreadful. I honestly dread that smell, it's too much. What annoys me though, is that she just does it without caring. In general, she will fart at any time, any place, within the house. She just says she has to fart, and she's at home. That's okay, but it's when they /stink / like this that it's an issue. I'm past any concept that it's disrespectful, it is her home. But it's the /consequences that bother me. The smell, and how long it lasts doesn't modify her behavior at all. At least do it in the other room. Last night, she stank out both of the bedrooms upstairs, and the only way I could have anywhere to sleep was by opening multiple windows up there for 15 minutes, and this was at 10 p.m. at night. I was sleeping in the spare room, and she got in that bed to read with our daughter, and according to my daughter, who came down before I went to bed to complain about the smell that had been left, she farted 3 times in there, before going off to get in bed in the main room where it smells even worse. I did yell about it stinking up there, telling her to sleep in the other room where the smell was, before I instantly realized it smelt in both rooms. And that's it, not cool to bomb out both bedrooms like that. This morning, she's unhappy that I yelled before I had to open the windows. We didn't argue. That was it, I just yelled once about it. She's unrepentant about this, and I know it will happen again. I suspect I am not making any headway in this topic with her because I can be really upset when it smells. After all this time, I'm just so sick of it. I don't mind it smelling, just try and keep the smell elsewhere. If you sit next to me on the couch and do it repeatedly, knowing it smells and my asking her not to doesn't stop her doing it, what else do I do but loudly express my unhappiness? Am I the asshole? Dude, get her some lactose pills so she pops one before she eats anything with dairy. Not the asshole. She is being rude and inconsiderate. I get that it's her house, and she wants to feel comfy, but other people live there. Have y'all tried candles? They burn off some of the methane that causes the smell. It does make a difference. Not that that gives her license to fart up all the bedrooms. Not the asshole. Your wife is. It's common courtesy to not stink up shared spaces, especially when she knows she has vile lactose stinkers. The fact that she continues unrepentantly shows that she is actively disregarding you. Not the asshole. Your wife is being highly inconsiderate. If she needs to fart, she should do it away from people. Yes, it's her home, but that doesn't mean you and your daughter should have your senses assaulted because your wife lacks basic respect. My ex-husband had the stinkiest farts. His whole family did weird. The only time I threw up when I was pregnant was when we were in the car, and he let one loose. I had to pull over and puke in the gutter. The 2 things I do not miss about him: the snoring and the farting. Your wife is being inconsiderate. Yes, it's her house, but it's a shared space. These microaggressions can develop into major issues if they aren't addressed. Best of luck to you. This is a solvable problem. 1. Prevention. Lactate is cheap over the counter and helps people digest lactose. You can even buy them on the go, with little tear pouches she could keep in her purse. 2. Air freshener. There is this thing called Medi-Air that is specifically for biological odors and is unscented. They use it in hospitals, but is also sold on Amazon.